सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। So for the sake of Kushal, I'm going to quickly review whatever we have reviewed so far. We are reviewing the text called Tattvabodha, authored by one of the Shankaracharya-ji, not the Adi Shankaracharya-ji, one of the Shankaracharya-ji. It is a text in which all the prakriya of Vedanta is explained, all the definitions, if you want to say, is explained. And so this text is a prerequisite to study any of the Vedanta. And in fact, even studying this text first prior to studying Bhagavad Gita makes it easy to understand the concepts of what Bhagavad Gita wants to convey to us. With that, we start with the invocation stotra or shloka. वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते. So this author is saluting to his guru, whose name is Vasudevendra Yogindra. He is saluting the guru so that the work that he is commencing for mumukshu, those who are desirous of liberation, moksha, those who are desirous from liberation of this feeling of bondage, of this feeling of helplessness, for them, for their well-being, this text called Tattvabodha is being composed. He is commencing this text. Further, sadhana chatushtaye sampannadhikarinam moksha sadhana bhutam tattvaviveka prakaram vakshyamah. So what is he going to tell in this text? That he says that for those who are the eligible students, those who possess sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, meaning those who possess fourfold qualifications. What are they? That the subsequent text will say. Essentially, the text is in the form of a dialogue between student and guru. So the student keeps on asking a question and the guru answers. That is how the whole text proceeds. So this author is telling that what is contained in this text, Tattvaviveka prakaram vakshyamah. I am going to tell all of you, or we are going to tell you the Tattvaviveka. What is the discrimination of Tattva, meaning the reality? What is the reality, and how to discriminate this reality from what is unreal, from anything other than that. So we are going to tell you both what is the reality and how to discriminate regarding that reality. Why? Because that is the means for attaining liberation. And for whom is it the means? For those eligible students who possess this fourfold qualifications. So naturally the question arises, what is this fourfold qualification? Sadhana chatushtayam kim? So sadhana chatushtayam kim? The Shishya asks. So the Guru lists the fourfold qualification as Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekah, Iha Mutrartha Phalabhoga Viragah, Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi, Mumukshutvam Cheti. So fourfold qualifications. Vivekah, discrimination. What kind of discrimination? What is Nitya Vastu and what is Anitya Vastu? What is permanent in life and what is impermanent in life? This kind of discrimination one must possess in order to commence studying this kind of text. The second qualification is viragah. So this nitya anitya vastu vivekah alone matures into second qualification, which is viragah. Iha mutrartha phala bhoga viragah. Viragah, dispassion towards towards the results, or towards the bhoga, enjoyments that one can gain uh, in this life here or elsewhere, like wherever our setup is, or wherever, like vacationing somewhere, or after life, after death, having a better life, a better embodiment, that kind of, that kind of, what do you call, desire. Uh, when one is free of both these desires, to be happy from some kind of experience, some kind of enjoyment from some external means here or hereafter, after life, in some other world, then that state is called viragah, dispassion. Other way that Swamiji popularly explains this word viragah is objectivity towards life. That ऐसा नहीं है कि मनी कुछ भी नहीं है, और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि मनी सब कुछ है. So one must have that, what do you call, uh, objectivity, to value a thing for what it is, not more, not less. So that kind of objectivity, to be able to evaluate a thing for what it is called vairagya. And then we can relate to things as we should, and we would not get overwhelmed by something. We would neither get overexcited, and we would neither get depressed. So that kind of uh, state of mind is called viragaha. So this Vedanta is not about being depressed. It is actually about understanding how we should live life. People think one should enter spirituality after one becomes a certain age, 60, 70. बुढ़ों की बुढ़ों का ये पुस्तक है, नहीं, बुढ़ों का पुस्तक नहीं है. This is about every youth, every mature adult, mature young adult should know Vedanta, so that they can live their life, not for becoming a sannyasi, but to live their life correctly, to understand their life correctly, to relate to people correctly, and to be able to enjoy and develop your relationships in a mature way. One needs to understand Vedanta, or one should understand Vedanta. So Viragaha, we should understand Viragaha is that objectivity, to evaluate a thing for what it is, not more, not less. Here it is explained in a very traditional way that when one doesn't have this desire for enjoyment from any particular thing, either here or hereafter, in life hereafter, and that state is called viragaha. Now, see, when you understand the reality, it will amount to this. Because when you understand the reality, it will all boil down to the reality as we will come down. The tattva, the reality is that only one thing can give you happiness, total happiness, the kind of happiness you seek. What kind of happiness? The happiness that lasts ever, forever. uh, the happiness which is not limited to a particular place like Edmonton or Ahmedabad. It is not limited to a particular time like just 6 o'clock and not 10 o'clock. A happiness which is not particularly limited to just one object, like in a mango and not in a, I don't know, Kerala. So we are looking for happiness which is limitless, meaning the word limitless means it is not confined by anything. It is available to us all the time. It is, we are never apart from it. By limitless, what we mean is we are never apart from this happiness. That is what we are seeking. So when that understanding of the reality comes, that hey, what I have been seeking in my life is this, and that is not a matter of seeking, it is a matter of discovering. Where is it? Somewhere out there? No, it is not somewhere out there. It is right here, in the correct understanding of myself, of life, and the world. This reality is unfolds itself before me. I understand it, and that is how, in the correct understanding of the world, of Ishvara, and of myself, I am able to relate with myself properly first. And when I am able to relate with myself correctly, then I'm able to relate to Ishvara also correctly, and with the world also correctly. So, uh, and when that thing happens, then automatically this projection on our part that happiness lies outside there, that gets checked. It I no longer, uh, that no longer remains my belief, or yeah, it no longer remains my foundation of interacting with the world. And so when that change in understanding happens, when that transformation happens in my understanding, then naturally I am not going to be attached to some bhoga, to some enjoyment from some external object. I may enjoy it, I may very well have an ice cream. It is not about not having an ice cream or not having a vacation, but I will not be attached to it. I will not feel deprived or helpless without it. So a healthy relationship with everything. Not it's not about giving up everything. It is not about not using it, but it is about making use of everything in a sensible way. So what is life? Life is living in a sensible way. That is vairagya, objectivity. Then the third qualification is Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi. This sixfold, what we call emotional maturity. Now, again, like, even if we don't study the rest of Vedanta, and even if we focus on this fourfold qualification, it is very important to live life happily. Even if one doesn't want moksha, even if one does not want liberation, and even if one is just interested in living life with family and friends happily, with having a nice job, etc., even then, all these four qualifications will help the person actually, actually live happily and not become too dependent on things, not become too attached to things. So, this third qualification talks about emotional maturity. We all have intellectual maturity. That intellectual maturity comes as we grew from age 1 to whatever age we are right now. But then there is something called emotional maturity. A person may grow to an age of 80 physically, and emotionally the person may be the same 5-year old. And this is where we have to deliberately make an attempt so that we behave as an emotionally mature people. Our emotional needs, we recognize and grow out of it. Our emotional dependence, we again recognize and grow out of it. How? By fulfilling somebody else's emotional needs. That's the only way. Like, here they will talk about Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, which is more like an intellectual level exercise. But there is another layer that Swamiji talks about a lot, and that is emotional maturity, which most of the Shastra it doesn't address. And so I'm deliberately dwelling on it outside this topic of the text. Emotional maturity. You have your own emotional needs. You recognize it. You recognize it. Recognize all those needs which makes you dependent. That when a particular person in a relationship, whether it is mother father, mother son, father son, whatever, any relationship, two friends, etc., when you become too dependent on the other person, if the other person doesn't behave in accordance with your expectation in that relationship, you feel not okay. That is called emotional dependence. That you have a particular requirement, you have a particular emotional need, and when that need is not satisfied, you are not able to accept the other person and the other situation as they are. That is called emotional dependence. And we all have that. Every human will have that. And so this life should become a way of becoming free of that emotional need. So uh, work on it. I mean, after all, we are all people with sentiments. So it is not about not having sentiments. It is not about not having love in relationship, but having that maturity, so that that love doesn't become attachment. So if we are able to purify our relationships, then we will be able to enjoy our relationships more, and we will be able to give more through our relationships. Our relationships will help us grow emotionally when we have this kind of openness, when we are also not a walled personality, uh, when we allow others to enter, you know, in our space, when we do not have some rigid ideas of I want to do this thing only this way and not that way. uh, One quotation that Puja Swamiji quotes is, um, I forget the exact phrase, uh, but how do you win? How do you win? Uh, you win people by allowing others to win. By having them their way, you are the one who is actually winning. We think that it is when it is my way, then I made my point, and then I have won the battle. But no, first of all, there is no battle. And in a relationship, as much as you allow the others to win, to have their way, to that degree, you are accepting them, you are making a statement, you are you know uh, you are marking this idea in their mind that yes, see, there is an acceptance, I am accepted here. So that kind of emotional relationship we have to work on wherever we are, in whatever setup, whether in work, whether in house, wherever we are with friends, etc. And then what happens? Then wherever we are, we would start emitting a fragrance of love, compassion, and then we would be, we would be. This is what the world needs today, right? Tattvabodha is right, but what does the world need today? The world needs love, compassion, care, and for that we have to change our personality if we are not already so. If we are already so, then we have to further expand that, because to what degree can we expand? To nth degree. And that reaches nth when that nth degree uh, reaches to full expression of this love, etc., compassion, then that state is the state of Ajnani, uh, a person who has known the reality. And that is what we are aiming for. When what we call by liberation is this state where we are able to include the entire world, that I may be wrong, the world may call me wrong, and yet I am able to include everybody. That is the state, and I'm still okay. I don't feel like I'm rejected. See, right now, what happens when my point is not taken forth? I feel I'm rejected. Uh, so from that, we have to grow to the state that I grow out of this feeling of helplessness, from that state of rejection, etc. Uh, Gradually, slowly, gradually. It's not zero and one, but gradual steps. So that was about emotional maturity, where we have to deliberately work on our emotional personality. Coming back to this Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi, that is emotional maturity, but how is it defined? It will mention further. Uh, okay, we will see it further when it explains. But Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti is the sixfold uh, framework of mind, and mumukshutvam, that's the fourth qualification. Intense desire of liberation. What kind of intense desire? At the exclusion of all others. So, like a person whose head is on fire, his only desire is to extinguish that fire, nothing else. He is not interested in ice cream if somebody offers it, or nothing else. Or he is not interested in looking at somebody eating the ice cream. And that kind of desire is called mumukshutvam, that where one's focus is single pointed. I want only this. And he's also clear why he wants this. Because he is clear that whatever so far I have been pursuing through external means, by name, fame, house, property, that has not been able to give me the happiness that I am looking for. He is able to know two things: that I'm looking for a certain kind of happiness, not just ordinary happiness of eating an ice cream and be happy for 5 minutes and then again vanishing. That's not the happiness I'm looking for. I'm looking for happiness which stays with me forever, which doesn't go away. I'm looking for happiness which is not mixed with unhappiness. He's clear on it. And what else? Uh, and he knows that this happiness, if it was a matter of gaining from somewhere, then so far, I ate ice cream, then, I have a big bottle, I should have this much happiness. Then I went for vacation, then that happiness should have increased. Then I went to with my friends and spent some time, I was happy, it should have increased. So far, I did enjoy so much happiness. So I should have at least this much of happiness, and now there is this much to be filled. But I don't find that. What do I find? However much happiness I accumulate, I find this bottle, meaning this bottle, always empty of happiness. This bottle never gets filled. So it is like a bottomless bottle. This bottle, uh, in whom we seek happiness, by which we seek happiness, is like a bottomless bottle. We have had a lot of experiences of happiness, and yet that happiness doesn't seem to accumulate. And every time I find myself hungry. Hungry of what? Hungry of happiness. And so that is what he understands, that no, something is wrong in my approach to life. uh, I have been trying to gain things, desirable things, and I've also got it. There are moments of intense happiness, but it doesn't last forever. It comes and goes. So this kind of examination analysis he has done, and so now he wants to uh, and now and he may have heard from elsewhere that this is to be approached in a different way. It is something that has to be understood. It is something which is a matter of knowledge, not a matter of action, not a matter of acquiring, but a matter of understanding. So this all, the person who has understood this, such a person is called a mumukshu. And so he's approaching to Shastra with this attitude that I want to understand life, I want to understand the realities, because I want to become free from the bondage of always trying to seek happiness from little things and always finding myself into this bottomless bottle. So that this kind of attitude this person has, what we call, so far he finds he was driving in a wrong direction, left side, right side driving. Supposing you change the country and now all of a sudden there is a, the directions of driving is different, and you just find yourself to be driving in the same manner as you were driving in the country of your residence. And so somebody points out, hey, you are driving in the wrong direction. So what are you going to do? You are going to slow down your car, then you will seek a spot where you can make a U-turn, and then you make the U-turn and start driving in the right direction. So also our life so far had been uh, in the wrong direction, pursuing happiness from outside. Then now through the analysis and perhaps through Shastra, through some, listening from some Mahatma, you now get to know that, oh, this is not the way to gain the happiness that I'm seeking in life. Then what? Oh, it has to be known, it has to be understood. And so that about turn happens in your life. When that about turn happens in your life, that state is called mumukshutvam. So now with that, the uh, the author, the Shishya. The Shishya, first of all, because it was just listed, so he asked, what is this Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha? Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha kaha? So the Guruji answers, Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma, Tad Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam. Ayameva Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. There is only one thing that is permanent, that is Brahman, that is Narayan, that is Ishvara. Everything other than Narayan, Brahman, or Ishvara is what? Sarvam Anityam. Everything else is impermanent. This alone is what we call Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha, discrimination between what is permanent, what is impermanent. Then Shishya asks, okay, next on your list, what is it? Viragaha. Viragaha kaha. What is Vairagya? Then Guruji responds, Iha Swarga Bhogeshu Icharahityam. The state where one is devoid of desires, desires for the enjoyments here in this life or hereafter. That is called Viragaha. Same thing as I explained, you just bring all that. Right now I'm just going to proceed. Then Shamadhi Sadhana Sampatti ka. What are this Shamadhi Sadhana Sampatti, Chatka Sampatti? So it is listed. Shamaha, Damaha, Uparamaha, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam cha iti. So 6 things. Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. So now each of this the Shishya will ask. Shamaha kaha. What is Shamaha? So Guruji responds. Mano Nigraha. Nigraha Nigraha means control. But rather than control, we should understand mastery. Mastery over mind so that it is able to act according to my sankalpa, according to my desire. That is called shamaha. And it is not, see, habitually we may get angry in a particular situation. But if my mind is under control or if I have mastery over mind, then I would deliberate that no, how should I operate in this situation? First of all, I should not be angry in any situation. And how to manage that anger, etc., etc. The mind will process. So, what is shamaha? When mind has mastery, the mastery over mind to act according to our understanding in the intellect. So we have a particular understanding in the intellect that we should not be angry, and still we find ourselves what? We become angry. We have a particular understanding of what? We should wake up early, and still what happens? We don't wake up early. So all this is called what? A lack of integration between what the mind or intellect wants and what the mind does. So there's a split in our personality. And by this emotional maturity, what we mean is to uh, uh, reduce that split that we find right now in our personality. So shamahakaha, mastery over the mind. So mastery over the mind so that it is able to act according to our understanding in the intellect, and that requires a particular training. It doesn't happen just like that. Just because I'm going to say don't be angry, it is not going to happen. So you have to live a particular life, and you have to uh, you know exercise a certain self discipline upon yourself, that whenever you find angry, in spite of this, now that you know that you shouldn't be angry, and you find yourself to be angry, then you do some prayashchit. you know you do some, you explain. First of all, you educate your mind that, look, mind, in you getting angry, it is a loss to you. Who is the first person to be at loss? You are the one who is at loss, because you're the one who loses your peace and happiness. So educating your mind, and also giving some kind of punishment, if you want to say, or just punishment is a little bit harsh word, but your mind is like a child. So imagine yourself to be father or mother of your child, namely mind. And each time you find your child, namely the mind, to act not according to how the child should behave, how the mind should behave, you educate the child. Then you sometimes you have to pamper the child, and sometimes you have to be strict with the child. And so also you have to use all these techniques together, uh, to in a very friendly way, to educate the mind and have mastery over the mind. This is as much in short I can explain in the first round as possible. Damaha kaha, what is this damaha? Chakshuradi Bahkendriya Nigraha, mastery over the external sense organs, of how much television I should watch, how much uh, classical music or any music I should watch, or what kind of television should I watch, what kind of music should I watch, etc. All these niyama, or all these uh, the mastery over these matters would fall under damaha. So I should, if I have a value of not indulging in sense pleasures, then I know that tonight I'm going to have rasgulla, and I make it a point in my mind that I'm not going to have more than one. Okay, I'll have, but not more than one. So then what happens when the second rasgulla comes? Then shamaha may not happen. That no, I don't want. What will happen? Oh, I'm tempted to eat the second rasgulla. So shamaha has not happened. What is shamaha? See, even if the second rasgulla comes and there is no desire for indulging in second rasgulla, that is shamaha. But let us say the shama didn't come. The first rasgulla was so good, and now that somebody is offering you the second rasgulla, you feel like indulging into it. So that means your shama didn't work. You didn't have the mastery over the mind. But now you have the freedom to exercise that desire or not exercise that desire. So if you exercise that desire, I mean, if you restrict your desire of having the second rasgulla, then that would fall into damaha. If even if your mind has a desire to have the second rasgulla, but you do not indulge into the second rasgulla based on your understanding that no, previously I had done the sankalpa that I will have only one rasgulla and I should have only one rasgulla, I should not overindulge, it's not good for my health, etc. Whatever rationale you provide, then that falls under damaha. So there is a value that even if you are not able to uh, completely express or exhibit shamaha, then please at least start with damaha and then slowly work on the other elements, shamaha. So these shamaha and damaha are linked. Most probably first we work on damaha, the external sense organs, and then we start mastering over shamaha. Shamaha is more subtle than damaha. Then uparamaha. Uparamaha kaha. What is this uparamaha or uparati? Swadharma anushtanam eva. Doing one's own duty, that is called uparamaha. In other texts, it is also explained as what? Uparati, meaning being withdrawn from all the sense organs. And actually, that is uparati. But how to do that or how to achieve that state? So, dharma anushtana. When one does one's duty as assigned in your particular setup, then what happens is it requires you to give up uh, your comforts, your likes, and your dislikes. And that results into the state called uparati, where you're withdrawn from the sense pleasures, etc. And when now you are available to be with yourself, to investigate and analyze the realities of life. So that is uparamaha. Then titiksha ka. What is titiksha? So the Guruji says, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhadi Sahishnutvam. The ability to bear the dualities that constantly present before us. Heat and cold, you know. Here I have the AC on, I go out and I have the heat of Ahmedabad. So the ability to be able to endure that. Or I go in Edmonton, it is chilled, minus 50 or whatever, and when I come home it is nice and cozy. So to be able to handle that, not getting swept off, not becoming too restless with those dualities that is constantly going to be present in our life at the level at physical level, at the level of body, or at the level of mind, like happiness, unhappiness, a happy situation, unhappy situation, somebody's death, somebody's graduation, somebody got, I don't know, a nice job, uh, my sister got a nice job, something of that sort. um, Titiksha, so that is titiksha. And also at the level of intellect, mana, apamana, respect, disrespect, all this. So at every instance you are going to be faced with you will be confronted with one of these, and to be able to bear these two, that is titiksha. Then shraddha ki drushi. Then how is shraddha, or what kind of shraddha, what kind of attitude do we call shraddha? And Guru Vedanta Vakyadishu Vishwasah Shraddha. This uh, faith pending discovery. We don't know 100%. but 50% we know, or 50% we have faith in our guru, that although I don't know, whatever the guru says is for my benefit, whatever the shastra says is for my benefit. And this kind of attitude is called shraddha. When there is shraddha, then when you have questions in your mind, you are seeking those questions to have answers, yes, but not as challenging the guru, not as challenging the shastra, that no, how can the shastra say that? It can't be. It doesn't seem to be correct. Or you never question the shastra. Like, do I question my eyes when I see that this book has pink color? Supposing my eye sees this book as pink color, and my guru or my friend uh, told me that, hey, this Dhatu Kosh book in Sanskrit is in yellow color. So my guru tells me that it is in yellow color. I see it in pink color. What am I going to believe? My guru is telling yellow color. So is it yellow color or pink color? Which color is it? Shraddha. Where should I have Shraddha? It's pink color,
Yellow
right?
color.
No. Here it is. So here it is pink color, right? Because I see it is pink color. So Guru, when we say Guru Vedanta Vakyadishu Vishwasah, the area where the Guru and Vedanta Vakya has scope, that area, when we have faith, that is what we call Shraddha in Vedanta Vakya. See here, for this, I don't have to rely on Guru to tell me what color this book is. For that, these eyes are paryapta, sufficient. My eyes are sufficient to tell the color of any book. But to tell who am I or who is Ishvara, my eyes or any of the sense organs given to me are not in the scope of direct knowledge. And it is that in those matters that we rely on Shastra and Guru, right? So we rely on Guru and Vedanta in a particular area where our sense organs do not have reach to understand the realities of life. And that is what in Vedanta we call Shraddha. We call Shraddha as Guru Vedanta Vakyadishu Vishwasaha. So many times in Shastra also, uh, we will see that Shankaracharya ji would present things according to the Vedanta concepts, and which the Shishya may find that it doesn't it's not consistent with my experience. It is not consistent with how I'm experiencing life through my sense organs. So then what happens? Then I question, but Guruji, this is what my experience is. Like, but I'm not rejecting whatever you're saying, but please help me understand, how should I understand that by if by my direct means of knowledge, like eyes and ears, this is what I am experiencing, and Shastra is telling me this, which is contradicting my present experience. How should I understand it? Please, help me understand. And so then the Guruji unfolds that, he changes our way of thinking, that why do we have a particular conclusion in life. So that is explained. So I'm not going to dwell on it right now too much, but that particular aspect is called uh, Shraddha. So Pramanya Buddhi. In Sanskrit, it is called Pramanya Buddhi. That what the Guru and Vedanta or Shastra tells is correct. I don't question. When the Shastra tells me that you are not body, I don't question. But My experience is I am body. So then what is my question? That Guruji, I have been in my body since, I always tell I am so many years old, and next year I'm going to grow one more year old, and some more, gray hair, etc. How do you say I'm not body? So this question we can have, and the Guru then and the Shastra, Guru through the Shastra explains us how it is so. That is called Shraddha. Samadhanam kim? What is Samadhanam? Chitta ekagrata, the focus of mind, single pointedness, like the Arjun had towards the eye of the bird. So that Samadhanam, Samadhi, is Chitta ekagrata, to have our focus on one thing uh, and not be deviated from it. That is called Samadhanam. So these were the sixfold Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti, sixfold qualifications, which is called emotional maturity. Then Mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam kim? Moksho. What is this? Mumukshutvam. What is the state of mumuksha? Intense liberation, intense desire for liberation. Moksho me bhuyad iticha. This desire that may I be liberated. This desire is called mumuksha. And etat sadhana chatushtayam. These are the fourfold qualifications. Tataha tattvavivekasya adhikarinah bhavanti. When these fourfold qualifications are there in a seeker, then one becomes eligible to do this tattvaviveka, to do this inquiry into the truth, to do this discrimination of what is real, what is unreal. So that was the introduction, and then now starts the text. What is the text? Tattvaviveka kaH. What is this inquiry into the truth? What is this tattva? What is the discrimination of tattva, the realities? And this is what the entire text is about. Guruji answers, Atma satyam tadanyat sarvam mithya iti. Atma alone is satyam, and everything other than Atma is mithya. So we saw nitya viveka. What was that? This Brahman, Ishwar alone was nitya, and everything other than Ishvara was anitya. Now what do we see? Atma alone is satyam, and everything other than Atma is mithya. What is satya? What is mithya? We dwelt on it at length. To just capture in a capsule form, satyam is that which remains true to its nature, which does not change. Satyam is that which is not dependent on anything, which exists independently. What is mithya? Mithya is that mithya is a dependent reality. Satyam is an independent entity. Mithya is something that is that is dependent on something else. For what? For its existence, and for its awareness, for whatever functionalities it is uh, doing. It is attributed, everything uh, is attributed to something else. For example, a pot uh, is made up of what? Clay. So we say clay is satyam. Clay is the independent reality, and pot is a dependent reality. Why? Because if you take out clay from a clay pot, then nothing called pot remains. You find that what we call pot is just a name and form. A name and form of what? Of clay. Clay in a particular name and form is called what? Pot. So you don't find clay and pot as two different entities. This is how you find clay and pot associated, that one is the substratum uh, upon which this other entity is or as which this other entity is manifesting itself. Sorry. So that is Satya and Mithya in a very, very, very brief nutshell. Um, Ushal, I'm going to just say that I'm just going to share some video of Satya and Mithya because it is just going to take an entire 2-3 lectures to make, to understand Satya and Mithya. But essentially, dependent reality. That is how we can understand right now. Dependent reality is Mithya. Independent reality is Satyam. Like sunlight and moonlight. Sunlight is what? Independent reality. The light of sun is independent. It is of its own. It is existing by its own sake, or existing by its own means. It doesn't need anything else. Whereas moonlight is not on its own. It is coming from where? From sunlight. So are we looking at moonlight or sunlight? Sunlight as moonlight. Sunlight as moonlight is what is called moonlight. So that is called mithya. So moonlight is what? Mithya. We see it. Mithya doesn't mean we don't see it. We very much experience it. And in fact, we can experience only that which is mithya. Satya is not available for experience as this. It is experience, but not as this. Satya is experienced very differently. Mithya is experienced differently. Satya is experienced differently. Satya is experienced as the very subject because I am the experiencer and I am the truth. So I always experience myself as what? As the very seer. But Mithya is experienced as what? As the object of experience. That I see this book. I'm seeing this book. Uh, so, in this seeing, there is two things involved. One that is seeing this book, and one who is seeing I. So, the seer I and the seeing book. So, in all the experiences, these two elements are involved, the seer and the seen. And in this book, it is easy that, okay, I'm the seer and this is a scene. But in life, and don't worry, I'm giving you a very gross level, high dose, uh, concentrated form information, which will be unfolded throughout this text. So don't worry. But I want to explain these terms in a capsule form. So this is a capsule information, very concentrated information, which will be diluted through the text as it proceeds. So this is what Satya and Mithya is. One is dependent reality, one is independent reality. So I guess just live with this definition for right now. But essentially anything that I interact with, we have done in the past in this group. Let us say if I have a flower, and a flower with 5 petals. If I remove one petal in a flower of 5 petals, let us say this is a flower. If I remove this petal, does the flower remain? You would say it remains. If I remove this, does the flower remain? You would say I should have an actual flower to make it more, but it's okay. If I remove this petal, you'll still say perhaps that the flower remains. At what point do you say the flower doesn't exist? You remove all the petals and then suddenly you say that there is no more flower. Then whatever petals you remove, okay, now I'm going to give you. Do you think that this flower is a combination of all these petals? Then okay, let me give you and put it back. Will that work? Once you have torn those petals, Are you going to be able to combine that into a flower? No. But still, what? Flower is not a particular petal. It is not also a combination of petals. What is flower? When you inquire like this, you find what? You find that whatever things you confront is nothing but name and form of something else, of some material cause. Some other thing is appearing as this flower, which is what you call flower. So whatever you interact are concepts in your mind. This is what we would come to if we invest. I'm trying to see if I have a good tangible example to show. For example, if you take a pot and if you remove clay out of it, what is going to remain? Will the pot remain? No. So pot will not remain if we remove the clay out of it. So then what is pot? Isn't it
It
just a
is
name
made
and
of
form?
clay.
But if you remove clay, then
There's
where is your
nothing.
pot? Then nothing is remain. So
Yeah.
what you see as a pot, isn't it just clay in that particular shape?
Yes.
So clay in one shape and clay in another shape. What difference does it make? Does shape add anything to clay?
No.
No, nothing. Shape doesn't add anything to clay. So then this what we call pot as a particular shape and particular name called pot, isn't it just a name and form? It has usefulness. That I'm not denying. It has usefulness. But its usefulness comes from where? By its own, from pot or clay?
Clay.
The usefulness of pot is coming from clay, not pot. So this entity called pot is just a name and form hanging on what? On clay. This clay entity is appearing in the form of this pot. And so also anything and everything that we experience, I can go nth level of you know explanation, expounding this, but we are going to be brief here. But everything and anything that we experience in life is nothing but name and form upon some reality. What is that reality? We are interested in that. This Tattvaviveka, what are we going to do? There is one reality after everything. There is one material cause to everything. Like this cloth. What is this cloth? This is a sari I'm wearing. What is this?
It is
What
made of
would
yarn.
what would remain if I take out the yarn from the sari,
Nothing.
cotton from the sari? Will anything remain? No.
No.
So what is the difference between cotton and this sari yarn? Isn't just cotton appearing in the form of this
All of
sari?
it. Yeah.
When we think of cotton, how do we imagine cotton? Cotton as that bulb,
White color.
that
Yeah.
white color, this thing that we have
Mm.
seen in the crop in the fields. Uh, but cotton is cotton. What is cotton? Cotton
Mm.
is that having the property of cottonness, and that property we see here. This cloth is not a separate entity. This cloth is nothing but cotton. Cotton weaved with, however, what is the word? Warp and weave, whatever is the word. Uh, when the cotton strands are weaved in a particular way, it gives rise or it gives an appearance of a cloth like a sari. So, what is sari? Is it different than cotton? what is a cotton sari? Okay, don't tell me that silk sari is. So what is a cotton sari? Is it different than cotton? Cotton alone is
No.
appearing as this sari, isn't it? So what is sari?
Yeah.
Isn't it just a concept in our mind? It is just a concept in our mind. So material cause. So the important conclusion from this equation, the equation we want to arrive at is the material cause alone is appearing as effect. And so the what we call effect, namely a sari, is the effect of what? The cotton yarn. So the effect sari is not different from the cause, the material cause yarn. The material cause yarn or cotton alone is appearing as this effect sari. Uh, and so what we call sari is just a concept in mind. So this is the equation and this is the conclusion we come to when we do analysis of everything and anything we interact. So what is there something called one material cause to everything? Yes, there is something called there is only one material cause to everything that we perceive in this world. What is that one material cause? That this whole text is unfolding. So the realities are questioned in this manner. Then from Atma Kaha, uh, we will have to look next time. We don't proceed because we have, but anyways, it was a revision after a long time. So next time, please all of you try to join so that we can proceed. And I'm going to start straight from Atma Kaha next time. Not going to revise a lot or just from Tattvaviveka Kaha. And if you have questions, uh, especially Halish and you know, please let me know. Halish has still been exposed, but uh, Kushal, sorry. So
Yes,
Kushal, if you have any particular questions, any areas where you need more clarification, please let me know ahead of time, and we can also discuss on WhatsApp.
yes,
And then from next time we will start from Atmaka. Okay.
yes,
Thank you.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari
Very
Om.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you. आज